Entering the Mayo Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience mini edition because of the holiday weekend. I want to remind you to smash the like, sub to the channel, and for all of this information, hit up the free newsletter from Mayo Media Network. It is available for free down in the description right now. The rankings are down there as well. The Listeners League, that's full. So you can still go to runthesims.com, get your favorite props, get your favorite lineups and projections, and go play on DraftKings. All right? Makes sense to me. I will not keep you long, but I do have the information that you need heading in to week number 12, in case you've been kind of lollygagging. I mean, who hasn't? You've been eating turkey, you've been drinking for 3 days. It's time to get serious about winning some money this week, all right? In fantasy, running back injuries. Right now, we have Jerick McKinnon out for the Kansas City Chiefs. Donta Foreman expected out for the Chicago Bears, so a bump up to Khalil Herbert at number 21 in the running back rankings for the remainder of the week. And then Roschon Johnson ends up being running back number 28 because of the pass-catching prowess in a game where they are 3.5-point dogs Monday night to the Vikings. So keep an eye out on both, and both are decent options, not great options. Then you have to wait around for it anyway. I suppose there's still a chance Foreman can play, but it is very unlikely at the moment. Kyren Williams is off injured reserve. He is playing. They've talked about limiting his touches, but who cares? He's the guy that they use when he is active. I think in every game that he started, he hasn't seen fewer than 70% of the snaps. I would expect that to be the case this week against Arizona, the second worst run defense in the NFL, so watch out. Here's the big one, though. Rachaad White was downgraded to questionable on Saturday. This is never a good thing. I have no idea how serious or unserious his knee injury is, but I had him in my main GPP lineup, my main cash lineup. I mean, I don't really play cash, but if I had him on cash, listen, if he's my main GPP lineup, he was going to be in my main cash lineup at the ownership he's projecting at right now. Would not take him out in season long, but I have taken him out of my main lineup. On DraftKings, I swapped him in for Derrick Henry and had to rearrange everything at defense to make that salary work. I built out those lineups on the show with Meanie on Friday. So if you do want to go back and just hit the time codes for those lineups, it was in the optimal, everything like that. And I played them with Minshew lineups as well. There are a lot of Baker stacks, a lot of Minshew stacks, and Rachaad White is just prevalent throughout all of them. So just be very cognizant of that. He's projected right now at 17% on DraftKings. I think it's going to come in a lot lower. I think that people are going to be scared off. I'm not taking him out of every lineup, but in single entry, higher stake stuff, you know, maybe I'll leave him in a $50 one, but probably not the $150 or the $200 this week for me with Rachaad White, because it's kind of terrifying. Unless I hear reports contrary to that, that is what I am going with. Aaron Jones, Ken Walker, and Devon A-Chain all missed week number 12 on Thursday and Friday, so we'll see how they project out for week number 13. At wide receiver, T. Higgins, Noah Brown, Treylon Burks, Michael Wilson, Mac Hollins, Kadarius Toney, Mecole Hardman, all out. Hardman was actually placed on injured reserve. So there's a few things to look at here. You know, the crocodile on it, Trenton Irwin, he gets a little bit of a bump, as does Tyler Boyd, but Jake Browning's still playing quarterback, so who really cares about those guys? Noah Brown kind of means a little bit of a bump up for Robert Woods, but probably just more Nico, more Tank Dell, more Dalton Schultz. CJ Stroud looks like an amazing play. That is probably my favorite stack of the week. I'm not alone in that, but you can find some nice pieces on the other side to bring back as well, be it Zay Jones or Travis Etienne. Again, another full-out onslaught stack that Meanie and I built on Friday's show. So please, once again, go check that out after you finish this one. Treylon Burks, who cares? Kyle Phillips will just get more run in the Titans offense with Will Levis under center. Michael Wilson out just like last week. The human Dortch, Greg Dortch, 3,300 on DraftKings, played like all the snaps last week. And right now, we see that Hollywood Brown is a bit banged up. He's probably going to go, but it's Greg Dortch over Rondale Moore at the moment. I mean, he's a great play this week. Mac Hollins out, who cares? Kadarius Toney and Mecole Hardman means just more Justin Watson. I guess I can jump over to it right now. The prop sniper on runthesims.com. Code Mayo for the prop sniper, the top Friday hit. If you had watched the game, you would not have enjoyed that Tim Boyle over. But if you just bet the Tim Boyle over, came back after the game, you're like, hey, I got a winner on my hands. Fantastic news. Watching it in real time was horrifying, but it got there. And that's always nice. Juwan Jennings under was the top play on Thanksgiving. And, of course, that came through, too. So this isn't the top play this week, Justin Watson. But there are 3 books still hanging his over receptions of 1.5. We haven't projected it at 3 right now. I personally think it's going to be higher than that, but you're paying substantial vig here. Minus 185, 157, 157 at Philip Rivers and Uni Wagering. Let's call those 2 books. And the other one is Bovada at minus 185. Even at minus 185 in terms of the VIG, it's still saying it's a fantastic play. The other smarter books have already updated to 2.5, like DraftKings Sportsbook. 2.5 plus 110. The median projection is 3. It's still an okay play, but it's not like a recommended play by the numbers, where the other ones still are, even with the VIG. So if you do want to jump on that, you can. The big one right now that I am looking at in terms of props, I suppose I should jot down. You know what? I'll save that for when I can time code it as props. I just want to bring that to people's attention right now in terms of the Kansas City receivers. Zay Flowers is expected in, as is Cooper Kupp. Justin Jefferson, we don't know, but that's Monday night. So you're going to have to make a decision either way on whether or not you want to hold out if you have any Bear or any Viking to replace him with, or even putting him into the flex and then making it more viable for yourself. I'm guessing he doesn't play, but it's Justin Jefferson. He's one of the 5 best fantasy players. You're going to hold out hope that maybe he can go if you don't hear otherwise. Odell, George Pickens, and Slayton, all questionable, probably all going to go in this game. Tight ends and quarterbacks, Derek Carr is going to go for the New Orleans Saints. Michael Thomas obviously is not, so is it A.T. Perry, or whatever the hell that guy's name is? Everyone's all in on A.T. Perry this week. Just give me Shaheed. Give me Taysom Hill. Rather have those 2 guys. Dallas Goedert out for the Eagles in that big game. Again, that's another stack from both sides that we built out. Hayden Hurst out for the Carolina Panthers. So we're going to see some Tommy Tremble, some Steven Sullivan. As long as their props are low, I probably like them over both. If it's over a reception or a half reception or 1.5 receptions, they probably do get there. We don't know about Gerald Everett as of yet for that game. The prop that I was talking about a little bit earlier, Devin Singletary. They have not updated all the odds at different places so far. DraftKings has it now set at 12.5. That just opened up even before I started doing the show. But there are still some places that are hanging 13.5 with pretty reasonable vig. Again, Philip Rivers, Uniwager are the 2 that have not updated fast enough. So you can still catch them right now at lower vig. Now we have the median projection at 10 carries for Devin Singletary. The big thing is that Dameon Pierce is going to be back. He was taken off the injury report. So even if they just go back to the opposite of the role that they had before, where Singletary is now the lead and Pierce is now back, very rarely do both those guys get over 13. Either one of those guys get over 13.5 carries in a game to begin with, let alone 2 guys going back and forth with each other. And Pierce might step back into his role as primary ball carrier and Singletary as primary pass catcher out of the backfield. That is always on the table as well. It's not saying this is a guaranteed winner. It's wins at a 76% clip at 13.5, 70% at 12.5. I personally like it because it doesn't even put into the context that Jacksonville is the second best run defense in football. They're probably going to score points against a terrible Houston defense. So if Houston gets behind in the game, then running's just out the window anyway. They never run on third down as it is. So it's a great situation to really attack these Devin Singletary unders in terms of rushing attempts. I've already played it, and I expect this number to get crushed by the time that kickoff ends up coming along. So it's up there right now. It is the best rated play currently in the Run the Sims Prop Sniper. Again, if you use code Mayo at Run the Sims, you can get the Prop Sniper for $12 a week with code Mayo. Like, if you're actually playing props and you do want to see what the system says is the best, and it's honest to God been a printing press. If I only played the top plays that Run the Sims gave me, I'd be up a ton of money. Unfortunately, I'm like, no, I know about football. Let me use my galaxy brain on this one and play some stupid 6-game, same-game parlay and lose it. Hit 5 of them and lose it, and somehow lose money coming out of it. Just stick with the singles. You will be fine, and it will pay for itself. Honest to God. Code Mayo, runthesims.com right now. Very quickly taking a look at the DraftKings breakdown, just to give you a heads up, there's a nice actual graphic inside of the newsletter featuring all of this, but again, this will get updated in real time as we go forward in terms of ownership projections. Once those get updated by other sites, our aggregate will come in, and then all the information that comes out regarding someone like Rachaad White. You can see Rachaad White went from 17% in a round of projections all the way down to 8%. to 10% is the range that he is going to be in at the moment, because when you click on his handy little notice that he was downgraded heading into Sunday this week. So it's Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Isaiah Pacheco, Bijan Robinson, and Kyron Williams coming in as your top 5 currently in the ownership rankings on DraftKings at running back. When we take a look at, it's going to be A.J. Brown, Michael Pittman, Adam Thielen, Mike Evans, Demario Douglas. Demario Douglas actually rates out as a fantastic play. The ones that I would be looking at would be Tank Dell, Puka Nacua. Dortch is coming in at around 9% right now because he is such a fantastic play. However, I would take a look at Justin Watson at the moment at $3,000 in case people aren't coming back towards him. When the ownership updates on Sunday morning, if there is a huge gap between them, I would just go with the lower one. I prefer Dortch overall because I think he's a nice mini stack with Kyron Williams. And we take a look at tight end. Trey McBride is going to be the one who comes in the very highest at tight end. He's projected around like 25% at tight end. It's him, then Kelsey, then Njoku, and then Evan Ingram. Isaiah likely in the Sunday night game is someone who will actually pop up very highly too, but we don't care about that on the main slate for DraftKings right now. I actually like Taysom Hill a lot at $5,000. He's a bit overpriced, and he's been out of sight, out of mind. He was terrible the last time that he played. Then they went on bye week. There's no Michael Thomas around. I would expect to see an increased route share from him. Plus, he's always live to score like 2 touchdowns rushing, and no one is using him this week. Really like Taysom Hill. We take a look at defenses for the week. The Patriots and Chiefs, 1-2. Patriots, Chiefs, maybe Steelers and Titans if you can get up to that amount of money. But Patriots and Chiefs at 32 and 31 are going to be the chalk. They're not overwhelming, though, which is really nice. It's not like it's a 20% defense, probably 12 at most, if that. So they're both fine plays regardless of where you're going to go in. And then when we take a look at quarterback, in terms of ownership, the most stacked up guy of the week is probably going to be Baker Mayfield or Gardner Minshew, because that's what optimizers are telling everyone. Lawrence, I would expect to be pretty popular as well. Again, on Friday's show, I walk through with Meany how you can build a Jalen Hurts stack with Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown, or a Josh Allen stack that goes with Kincaid and Shakir and not Diggs and brings back A.J. Brown, and how you can make the different pieces work in that lineup. So I recommend that you either go download that show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to it. Always use the time codes and you'll be good to go, or just find it on youtube.com under the Mayo Media Network. Tambo and crew from Ship It Nation will be back live Sunday morning, 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time on Mayo Media Network. If you have any other questions, code Mayo at shipitnation.com will get you 10% off any of their packages as well. So I highly recommend that you do that. Also, here's a tip. You need a gift for someone hard to buy for in your life right now for Christmas? OmahaSteaks.com. 50% off everything site-wide at the moment. And code Mayo will give you an extra $30 off at checkout. Minimum order is required, but 50% off plus $30 off. You can get these for pretty cheap. And these are gifts that people will A, love, and B, last them, if they have a freezer, well into the year. So, and, you don't have to leave your house. You can send it right to their door. People will love it. OmahaSteaks.com, code Mayo for that extra $30 off on top of the 50% off site-wide. All right, I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. Happy holidays. I'll see you next time.